Hey, how you doing? I'm Keith Irizarry. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me and letting me explain to you what we do at Hofstra University's Sports Journalism and Broadcasting Institute. There you go. That's my name. That's what I've done in my career. And I'll tell you, I've had an opportunity to do some real cool things, as you can read through the page. But probably the most rewarding thing I've done is over the last couple of years being part of this sports journalism program and seeing some of these young kids go on to do so many big things collegiately and on the professional level. And we have an amazing staff of teachers and instructors. There's my assistant program coordinator, Kevin Dexter, who does a lot of TV and radio. You can catch him on weekends as a sports anchor. He is a fantastic person and a real nice person as well. You know, one of the things that's really cool about sports journalism, it's growing. And if you don't understand what sports journalism is, that's why you're here. We're going to teach that to you. We want you to understand how to research a topic, and there's interviewing skills, and obviously, if you're going to be a broadcaster, you need to be able to speak in public. So we'll refine that as well. And all of our pre-collegiate sports media, journalism, broadcasting programs, we design them so that young broadcasters, many of them in high school, will be able to be successful collegiately and then in the professional world. As for sports journalism and broadcasting, the certificate that we have for teens, it's really cool. So it's a pre-collegiate, non-credit sports journalism certification program, and it's for teenagers from 12 to 18 years old. Basically, you will have a certain amount of classes you have to complete, 6 required courses, and then 2 more elective courses. And these are fun, and we'll go throughout this webinar and introduce you to all the classes that you can take. It's really just a great opportunity for you, A, to at the end of this get a certificate that says you completed X amount of courses at a collegiate level, and B, it's showing you what there is to do in this industry. There's so many avenues for you out there. Now, the summary of the program offerings, here's the list of all of them, and I'm going to go through each one. So I won't read through them for you right here, but obviously our programs, they're offered year-round from September to August, and we go real heavy in the summer, 6 weeks, Monday through Friday. Many students with food involved. I know that's always something that people love to hear, food involved as well. And the classes, they can be single session classes, and then there you see some of them are 2, 3, 4, or even 5 days. The advanced certificate program offering, this is what we do. This is pretty new. We're working on sports journalism and your broadcasting resume reel, because just like if you were going to be a banker, you need a resume. But if you're going to be a broadcaster, you need a resume reel. So this is, whether it's radio or television, it's going to be an opportunity for you to show people what's the best stuff that you've done. And then I'll get into this sports journalism capstone course, which is basically like a grad course. It's awesome, going to be a lot of fun, and could be really, really beneficial to many young future broadcasters. So Introduction to Sportscasting for Teens. This is probably our keystone class. It's a week-long class, very intensive, and one of the things I always tell all the students at the beginning of the week is, we're going to have fun, but you are going to work so hard that when you get home, you may need a nap, and that's okay. And as you read along with me while I speak, hands-on experience, you're going to get critiqued by our immense staff of instructors, and the ability to work on both television and radio is really key. Some of the skills you'll learn: writing, reporting, both TV and radio, play-by-play. If you don't understand what play-by-play is, I'll explain it a little bit later in this webinar. Color commentary, which is analyzing, anchoring, interviewing, press conferences, and of course reading from a teleprompter. So lots of real fun and very important things. Intro to Sports Journalism for Young Women. This is an awesome program. It's a world where women are often trying to break into the sports broadcasting field, and now they're not just breaking in, they are dominating. And if you are a young female that is interested in being a sports broadcaster or a broadcaster in general, it's a no-brainer. You take this course, opportunity to learn from other fellow female sportscasters and veteran journalists, people that have done this for years And for the most part, it'll be all women that are a part of this. So it's really, really a great experience for you to not only learn from these broadcasters, these female sportscasters, but also be able to ask them questions and be around them and really learn what is it going to be for me to be a female sportscaster in this industry. Intermediate, this is kind of our second class, the advanced one. We used to call it backpack journalism. It's now fully intermediate sportscasting. You're going to report. You're going to shoot. You're going to learn how to edit. You're going to obviously be on camera. There are so many great things that can be done, not just on camera, but behind the scenes. So, I mean, you're going to learn how to do a soups to nut television show, whether you're the producer or the technical director, or you're handling audio. Maybe you're the stage manager. Because when you get into the real world, you may not get your first job as being on air. So that's fine. If that's your dream, we're going to have you continue to fight and go get that dream. But until you do, there are other avenues in sports broadcasting that you could be a part of. And I think that it's really key for you to take the intermediate sportscasting for teens. You see there in red, whenever there's something in red, make sure you read it. In order to take the intermediate course, you have to complete the intro course. It makes sense. They go hand in hand. Sportscasting research and prep. This, I tell a lot of people, it's not the most exciting class, but it may be the most important class you take, because nobody just jumps on the air and starts talking and is absolutely flawless and amazing and just knows what to do. There is a lot that goes into preparing for a broadcast, whether it's doing play-by-play of a game, or hosting a show, or getting ready for an interview. So you can see there on the screen, searching for websites. We'll teach you a little bit about that. Crafting your information sheets, building charts. These are things that are really good for games. There is a difference between doing a phone interview or interviewing someone on camera or on the radio. We'll explain that difference as well. And really, it's just about being prepared as a broadcaster, as a sportscaster. Really, it doesn't even have to be sports. Whatever you're broadcasting, the most important thing to do is be prepared. If you're prepared, all the other things can play out. Because I've been in situations where teleprompter suddenly didn't work, or a producer says, hey, I know I told you you only needed to fill another minute. I need 5 more. And what happens at that point if I wasn't prepared? You can't have blank air, right? You need to have something to be able to fill, and that's why you need to prepare. Sports writing, blogging, and social media. We live in a world right now that social media is king. You know, Twitter and Facebook and Snapchat, and there are so many different things. Periscope now. Reporters, anchors, and hosts are starting to use a lot of this to not only find out their news and their updates, but also give the news and the updates. So what you're going to learn in this class is about writing, because you want to be on the air, you have to be able to write a good story, whether it's news or sports, whether it's national or local. It's important to know how to organize your stories, what websites you want to go to. We'll discuss what it is to meet a deadline when it's important to finalize an article. Composing a script for a television sportcast is real big as well. So yeah, we'll go over all of that. And of course, blogging. Now, blogging is not something that's going away anytime soon. It's a great way for you to be creative and, I don't know, tell your story, build your brand. It's just get whatever is on your mind on a piece of paper and let the world read it. Preparing and conducting sports-related interviews, it's important to know what constitutes a good question. So there are keys to this. We'll tell you what words to use when asking questions, how to ask a follow-up question, not just to follow the quote-unquote script that you've built. You know, you may have 7 questions that you want to ask Mike Breen, as you see him there on your screen as well. What if he says something that's really interesting and it leads you into a different avenue? Don't be afraid to avoid the script or, you know, go away from the script. Very important. And also, lately, Skype interviews have been something that's really growing, so we'll teach you that as well. Radio hosting, one of my favorite classes. I do national sports talk radio for many different networks. This is right in my wheelhouse. You will most likely have me as a teacher for this. I love our opening line. If you ever dreamed about hosting your own talk radio show, do you have what it takes to be the next Mike and Mike? Everyone thinks they can get on the microphone and just talk. And listen, there are people that can speak sports and speak it well and eloquently, but there comes an aspect of being prepared. We're going to teach you in this class what a rundown is, how to research your topics, how are you going to build your theme, what happens if it's a caller-based show. All of these things are really, really important. Sports television, hosting and anchoring, real cool. I mean, I can't say it any differently than you're going to get a chance to sit in a professional television studio at Hofstra University with a teleprompter. If you're a male, you'll be wearing a shirt, tie, and a jacket. If you're a female, you'll be dressed up very nicely as well. And you get the opportunity, with all the lights on, you shining, to essentially host your own show. Or, you know, many people have dreamt about being on SportsCenter and, you know, da-da-da, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you'll get that opportunity. We'll introduce you to a teleprompter, explain to you what it is, how it is actually difficult, and you need to perfect this craft, i.e., learn how to read off prompter without looking like you are reading. Very important. Read on the bottom again. You read. You need to take previous sports journalism courses or have industry experience before you can take this course. Sports producing and editing. Kevin Dexter, our assistant coordinator, is amazing at this stuff. He's been a producer at News 12 for a while. He edits as well. This one is right in his wheelhouse, and it's really a very crucial aspect of your career to know, because many of the jobs you will go for are what's called one-man band, which means you may have to shoot, use the camera, then bring it back, write a script, edit it, /produce it, and then give it to your producer or your director or your boss, whoever it may be. So, real important, make sure you take this one. Television, sports reporting, lots of fun. We've all watched football games, basketball games, baseball games, you know, all the pro sports, and you see these sideline reporters. And then we've also seen, you know, your local news where they throw it to someone that's on site somewhere. Let's say it's at an arena or maybe doing some sort of interview with someone. This all is encompassed in this class, television, sports reporting. Real important. You're going to leave this seminar more prepared and ready to pursue a career as a sports reporter. Hosting pre- and post-game shows for both radio and television. If you're a sports fan, and I can read this to you, but I can also just go off the top of the head, you've probably tuned in to whatever your local radio or TV station is and watched a pregame show. Sometimes you don't even realize that it's a pregame show. You just, you're tuning in, you're watching sports. But there's a lot of aspects to this. You need to learn, well, what players might or might not be starting. Are there injuries? Very, very important roles that you are filling as a pre- and post-game. And then post-game is a little bit different, too, because you're recapping. You may be reading over some highlights, whether it's on radio or television. So there you go. Take this class. Sports roundtable and hosting. Again, another thing that sometimes you don't even realize you do. I can remember as a child, to be honest, my 12th birthday, we had a sleepover party. A couple of my buddies were over, and my father was at the dining room table with us, and we were just conversing about sports and great basketball players at the time, and Shaquille O'Neal and Yao Ming, and guys like that were larger than life people. I vividly remember the conversation. Little did I know I was having a sports roundtable discussion. Years later, I started learning more about it, honing my craft, and that's what we're going to do for you in this class. Play-by-play, both for TV and radio. Play-by-play, if you've watched a game or listened to a game, you've probably heard Mike Breen or Marv Albert, two guys that have both been a part of our classes here. They've come and spoken. There's different methods to how you're going to do play-by-play. Are you the excited person? Are you more laid back? Are you going to scream and yell? Are you devoted to just one sport? I prefer to know a little bit about every sport, be knowledgeable, be able to do it. And play-by-play, if you don't understand what that is, it's the person that says, pass over to the left side, Johnson with a shot up and good. And the Hofstra Pride go up 12-6 early on in the first half. Something like that. That would be the play-by-play aspect of it. Again, in order to take this course, have to have taken something in our sports journalism program or have professional experience that we would deem worthy of you bypassing some of the other classes and taking this. Sportscasting 101 for teens. Now, this is done during spring break, so if you can't be with us in the summer, we understand there's a lot of stuff going on in your world, but we offer an intensive course for a full week, spring break. We're going to have guest speakers come in. You're going to learn from all of our instructors as well, and this will hit each day a little portion of everything we teach. Now, I still recommend you take our other courses, but this can kind of whet your appetite, wet your whistle a little bit, and you'll sit there and go, okay, I love that, I love that. I don't know if I love that so much, but you'll know exactly which classes you should go for. Vocal coaching for teens. Maybe the most important class we have, because especially Hofstra is on Long Island, so many people have that Long Island accent, and you want to get rid of that, or that New York accent, you want to get rid of that. So we bring in an industry professional to help you with preparing your on-air sound. There are scripts and monologues and ways to work on this. Basically, we're going to identify how to tailor your sound for your broadcast and your play-by-play and your voiceover work. And inflection, projection, clarity, all very important. This class, to me, may be the most important class for you to take. I know I said, research and prep, which is obviously critical, but this is really big as well, because many young broadcasters don't fully understand how to use their voice. And if you don't understand what I meant by that, take the class. Sports journalism and broadcasting, resume reel making. So again, I touched upon this a little bit earlier in the webinar. If you want to break into the world of sports journalism and broadcasting, you are going to need a resume reel which highlights all the amazing things you've done. This is an ability to have one of our instructors help you comb through your materials, pick out the best stuff that you've done, whether it's radio or television, and put it together. You will learn how to edit this, but you will have someone helping you do this. It's huge. You could read there the prerequisites. Students must complete 3 Hofstra Continuing Ed Sports Journalism Broadcasting Institute programs. Got to have at least 3 on-camera or radio abilities to do this. So you're going to walk away with a lot of material. All right, again, prerequisite, see it on the bottom in red. The Capstone course. Completion of Hofstra Continuing Education Sports Journalism Certificate Program for teens and registrants must be at least 16 years of age. So this, we essentially call this like a grad course of what we do. And this is really cool. So in the Capstone training course, students will get one-on-one private, or if you choose, let's say, your brother, your sister, your buddy, your cousin, whatever it is, wants to do it with you, we can accommodate you as well. You're going to get a training session with one of our instructors, okay? You're going to get one-on-one time. So you're not sharing this instructor. You can pick the brain of our instructor as much as you want. And you see the tuition price there. It's $100 per hour. It's just like going to the gym and getting personal training, except this, while going to the gym and getting personal training will help your health, this is going to help your career. Let's meet our instructors. I already told you about myself. Told you about Kevin Dexter. Here's Vinny Micucci. Done some amazing things throughout the industry, including covering World Series and All-Star games, working at MLB.com. I mean, you see the list of things he's done. He even wrote a book, from sports fan to sportscaster. Vinny is someone I have known for probably 15, 20 years. Vinny and I went to college together. Vin Parise, someone I met when I was working at MSG Varsity back in 2009. For my money, he may be the best color commentator for basketball on all networks. And he is absolutely blowing up right now. You can see the list of things that he does. I mean, you turn on a college basketball game, television, you'll see him. Radio, you're going to hear him. So Vin Parise is a great guy to learn from. Also pretty cool, Vin was a college coach for 8 seasons too. So he gives you a little bit of a different aspect there. Tara Petrolino, also someone that I met at MSG Varsity, has become a very good friend of mine. And Tara, boy, she is an industry monster, doing some huge things. Recently has branched out into ESPN. She's doing sideline reporting there, has done some play-by-play, has done some color. She's a host. Read the list there. Maybe one of the coolest things she's doing lately is she's gotten into cooking, and you can check out her cooking vlog, The Ladbroke Kitchen. I've watched it. I've learned a few things, and I've used a few of her tips in the kitchen. Dan Savarino, we write it there. He's a young broadcaster, but a lot of experience because he went to Hofstra University, had an opportunity to broadcast for the New York Islanders, especially during their playoff runs. And it's hard for me not to call him a kid because he's a little bit younger than me, but he's not. He is a young man that has turned into an excellent broadcaster, has a wealth of knowledge for someone that is so young, and an exuberance as a broadcaster. He is going to be huge in this industry. I'm real excited to see what he becomes, and I'm real excited for you guys to learn from Dan. And Mark Weiner, yet another one of the young broadcasters who has come through the ranks as one of our student workers at Hofstra University, and when he graduates, he will go on to big things. Excellent broadcaster, excellent behind the scenes as a producer, a director, an editor. He's done very big things, again, working for the New York Islanders, covering men's and women's sports at Hofstra University, doing some play-by-play for the New York Cosmos and the Long Island Ducks. Mark Weiner is someone you will definitely want to learn from. Here's our list of some of the former instructors we've had and guests come in to speak. Kenny Albert, name speaks for itself. Ralph Bernarchek, Len Berman, Mike Breen, the preeminent NBA voice, Mike Bossy, a Hall of Famer, Freddie Coleman, ESPN New York, 98.7 FM and national ESPN radio, Spiro Ditas, one of the voices of the NFL, Steve Gelbs, the on-field/sideline reporter for SNY for the New York Mets, John Martin, Brendan May and John McHugh have gone on to big things at Penn State, Spencer Ross, Sam Rosen, Tracy Wolfson. Seriously, tell me those aren't some great names. Discounts and payment plans. We will help you out as much as we possibly can. If you register early, you get discounts. If you talk with us, we'll try to help you out as well. Summer programs, tuitions, what you're going to get then, supplies, and catered lunch. Also, you can read there, we do have an interest-free payment plan available for the majority of our programs, so you can inquire with us. As always, if you want more information, the website there is ce.hofstra.edu/sportsjournalism. Again, all the program offerings, the dates of tuition. You want to find out about some of the other students that have taken our courses, maybe meet more of the instructors and really dive into what they've done, all up there on the site. And Head Honcho, our sports journalism and broadcasting director, Michael Chesina, his phone number is there. His email address is there. You can also follow us on Twitter. We have some cool stuff there at Hof Sports Journ. And also, hey, of course, social media, we are on Facebook. So that'll do it for our Sports Journalism and Broadcasting Institute webinar at Hofstra University. I am Keith Irizarry. Again, come on, stop on by, take some classes. I promise you, you're going to love what we have to offer.